You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad you can join me. Thank you for being here on another episode of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Make sure you go to my Facebook page to get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. Okay, so last night, the Miami Heat got the win that they needed. Well, they can't lose anymore, so they need all the wins they can get. I mean, this is it. But I called it. I said Miami would get 2 games in this series just based on heart alone. So the Heat, they got the win last night, winning 111-108. So there will be a game 6, and I think the Lakers will close it out in 6 is what I call. LeBron James was a man possessed early on. I mean, not even just early on, the whole game. I mean, I'll be real with you. LeBron James carried the Heat just to give the game away. I'll get into that, but LeBron had 40 points, 13 boards, 7 assists. His three-point shot was on last night. 6 of 9 from three-point land. And Anthony Davis, 28 points, 12 boards. But Kyle Kuzma, you know what? But before I get into that, let me go back to LeBron James. Look, this is what I mean by LeBron James carried the team last night just to give the game away. Late in the game, LeBron James has a chance to seal the finals for the Lakers. But what does he do? He takes the ball, drives, and kicks it out to Danny Green. Why? If I'm the Lakers, I'm paying you this money to take this shot. This is the moment right here. I need it. Now, his legacy is already cemented, in my opinion. There's not much more he can do, honestly. Whether he wins the championship or not, he's still one of the top 3, top 5 players to ever play in the NBA, no matter what happens during his tenure with the Los Angeles Lakers. But just last night was it was a situation that showed me where I choose Michael Jordan over LeBron James, and that's just, for me, that's just where it's at. I mean, LeBron could have took the game-winning shot, didn't, pass it up, and you saw what happened. But outside of that, the Lakers have to get more production from other guys. Kyle Kuzma, the Lakers were a minus 17. Well, when Kuzma was on the floor. Lakers were a minus 17 when Kuzma was on the floor. And they got to get more from Morris and Howard. Morris, 23 minutes and 1 rebound. That's it. That's the only stat he put up in 23 minutes. 23 minutes, 1 rebound. Dwight Howard, 15 minutes, only 2 points and 2 boards. You got to get more production from your front court other than that. And you can't be a minus 17 when Kuzma is out on the floor. That's not going to get it done. Because if you're going to play like that, then LeBron and AD are going to have to play the way they did last night. And LeBron, playing like a man possessed, going 6 of 9 from three-point land. I just don't see that happening every game. But I don't see the Miami Heat winning anymore. But the Lakers, they got to get more than what they've gotten. More than what they got last night from Howard, Kuzma, and Morris. So the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler, the guy is showing all heart, all will, 35 points, 12 boards, 11 assists in 47 minutes. Man played just about the whole game. Duncan Robinson showed up big for the Heat. He had a big 3 in the fourth quarter, 26 points to go along with with Butler and what he did and willing that Heat team to a victory. And I got to say this. I don't like Jay Crowder's game. I just don't. He reminds me of Josh Smith in the way he shoots the ball. He was 2 of 9 on 3 points, on the 3-point attempts last night. 11 points, 3 boards, 1 assist. This is all in 39 minutes. I mean, he scored in double figures, but his stat line you can get from somebody else off the bench. I'm going to be honest with you. In 39 minutes, you can get that production somewhere else off the bench. I don't like Jay Crowder's game. Again, it reminds me of Josh Smith. The guy he cannot shoot. And when he is on, he's very streaky. Streaky. But I don't like his game. That's all I have to say about Jay Crowder. I just don't like his NBA game. But again, last night, the Miami Heat, they escaped 111 to 108 against the LA Lakers. I'm sure the Lakers will close it out. I believe Sunday is when Game 6 will be played. Lakers will close it out. They'll win that one, as I called it, Lakers in 6. All right, baseball. Shout out to my Braves. They'll be playing the Dodgers in the NLCS. But I wanted to touch on the Tampa Bay Rays beating the New York Yankees last night. Look, all is good in the world when the Yankees lose. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like, I'm a Yankee hater. I'll admit it. I am a Yankee hater. So last night, the Rays, they were 10-0, and whenever Tyler Glasnow starts in his last 10 starts, Tyler Glasnow's last 10 starts, the Rays were 10-0 coming into the game. Now, Glasnow, which kind of shocked me, he pitched on 2 days rest yesterday, last night, and I hadn't really ever seen this. Glasnow only pitched 3 innings, and he only went to the Yankee lineup 1 time. He did his job, though. That's all the Rays wanted from him, coming back off 2 days rest. Now, in the playoffs, I've seen starters, excuse me, I've seen starters come from out the bullpen, to give help. Like I remember one playoff series when Greg Maddux was with the Braves, and they brought him in to close the game out against the Padres in a series. So I've seen that before, but having one of your starters come back on 2 days rest and just have him go through the lineup once, I had never seen that before, but it worked out. That's all Tampa wanted from him. Now, but the thing was, when he went out, though, it got a little rocky because Aaron Judge went deep in the next inning in the 4th, and that gave the Yankees a 1-0 lead. Garrett Cole pitched a big game performance. He pitched 5 1/3 of an inning, 1 earned run on 1 hit, 9 strikeouts. Now, Aroldis Chapman he's the man who gave up the go-ahead homer in the 8th to Mike Brasile. Now, remember, Chapman did the same thing. People might want to stop putting Chapman in these situations. He did the same thing in, what was it? Is it 2016 against the Cubs? I believe it was 16 to, who was it? Rajai Davis of the Indians? I believe it was that, but that wasn't the actual game. I think that tied it. Something to that effect. But remember, he did it last year to Houston when he gave up the game-winning homer. And then he does it this year, same situation, game-winning homer, the go-ahead homer. But that ends the Yankee season. They're done after 2 rounds. The Rays, they advance on to the ALCS. Well, they'll play the who? The Houston Astros. Don't tell the baseball world that the Houston Astros are back in the ALCS. All right, moving on. Let's talk a little NFL football. The Tampa Bay and Chicago Bears game. Kyle Fuller, he put some wood on Tampa's Keyshawn Vaughn that caused a fumble. You can go back and watch that play, everybody. That was a thump. that he put on them. Now, the game, I saw the game. It was more of a defensive game on both sides. Even though Chicago gave up 100 yards rushing to uh, Tampa Bay with Jones doing the running, it was pretty much a defensive stance the whole night from both teams. Both teams really weren't going vertical. It wasn't a vertical game because of the defense. There was a lot of slants being thrown, short yardage passes. Tampa only gave up 243 yards total yards. Now, I know Tampa lost, but I'm not really worried about the Bucs, but I am worried about Tom Brady and his fourth down fiasco situation. Tom Brady not knowing what was going on. Was it fourth down or not? Or not? Now, I read a report from Ian Rappaport saying that Tom Brady was in the locker room screaming, saying that someone should have told him that it was fourth down. But here's my thinking. Now, for those of you who not even if you haven't been, you should know this. Now, I've been to plenty of NFL games. If you look up on they have not the scoreboard, but they have like a little stat board that wraps around the stadium. You'll see the play clock sometimes on those, and then you'll see the down and yards to go. I mean, before every snap, you'll see it. It's right there in your face. You will see it. So you're telling me that Tom Brady couldn't just look up and see what down it was and how much yardage that we need? I think this is on Tom Brady, but I saw someone else said that it's just as much on coaching as much as Tom Brady. And he gave the reason, because, quarterbacks have headsets in their ear. And I didn't think about that, and I thought, wow, you know what? You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. This is just as much on Bruce Arians as it is Tom Brady. Someone should have let Tom know the situation in his headset. So Tom doesn't know what down it is. He just out there throwing the football, apparently. So again, Tom Brady also didn't shake hands with Nick Foles. I don't know what that is about. He is not a fan of Nick Foles. Nick Foles beat him in the Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. But I call it kind of a weak move. Look, we're going to get on LeBron James about walking off the floor with, 10 seconds left or something like that. I have to get on Tom Brady as well. Tom Brady, you have to shake the opposing quarterback's hand. It is what it is. It's like, when the kids are done playing sports, they make the kids shake hands. That's just how it is. Sportsmanship. Don't be a sore loser. Don't be a sore loser. Look, my boy Matt Ryan shook his hand after the Super Bowl. After that epic meltdown by the Falcons. Matt Ryan went and shook Tom Brady's hand. It is what it is. So, Tom, don't be a sore loser. Shake hands and go on about your day. So, look, that's all I got for you today, folks. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Go to my Facebook page to get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. Also, go check out my new page that I have on YouTube. It's showing me getting into the entrepreneurship world and things of that nature. Mike does everything. I will put the link in the description box if you're on YouTube. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.